Welcome to Election Night in America, America's Choice 2024. CNN proudly presents Election Night in America. It is my pleasure to be your host this evening, and let us see what is the most important election in our history unfolds. Now looking at the exit polls for approval, should Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez be president? 47.9% of people say no, compared to 37.1% of people who say yes, and 5.9% of people who don't know. Looking at the polls for Ron DeSantis, 35.0% of people say he should be president, 48.8% say he should not, and 7.1% do not know. So in both cases, a plurality of voters are against them. So this election will come down to the don't knows. Looking at expected turnout by the different regions, in the West Coast we have an expected turnout of 87%. In the South we have an expected turnout of 62%. In the Midwest and Rust Belt region we have an expected turnout of 80%. And in the New England, we have an expected turnout of 30%. Looking at voter registration by age, it's about evenly divided. The polls have closed. Our first polls are closing for 7 p.m. Eastern poll closings in the state of Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, South Carolina, Vermont, and Virginia. In the state of Vermont, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez will win the state's 3 electoral votes. We can also project she will carry the state of Virginia and its 13 electoral votes. We can also project Republican Ron DeSantis will win South Carolina and its 9 electoral votes. A huge win for Ron DeSantis and his first win of the night. We can also project that he will win the state of Kentucky, 8 electoral votes. His running mate Senator Rand Paul's home state, and he will win this state. In the state of Indiana, 11 electoral votes. We can project Ron DeSantis will win all of their 11 electoral votes. No surprise here. In the state of Georgia, however, it is too close to call. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez having a considerably large lead, about 8 points over Republican Ron DeSantis. Now, if you're looking at the electoral map, Ron DeSantis at 28 electoral votes to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's 16. We are also having some voter irregularities in Georgia and some system errors in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. And now for our 7:30 Eastern poll closings, 38 electoral votes at stake in the states of North Carolina, Ohio, and West Virginia, 2 of them being battleground states. In the state of West Virginia, no surprise here, they lost an electoral vote after the census. They're one of 3 states to have their population decline. They will give all of their 4 electoral votes to Ron DeSantis. In the state of Ohio, 17 electoral votes will go to Ron DeSantis. In the state of North Carolina, it is currently too close to call. 47% for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and 43% for Ron DeSantis. Now looking at the electoral map, Ron DeSantis at 49 points, 49 electoral votes to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez still at 16. Ron DeSantis will win Ohio 53-54 to 46. A big win, but this was likely expected, showing the polling. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez having an extremely low polling rate. She actually overperformed. The polling numbers are showing her at 43 points. Now we have polls closing in the 8 p.m. Eastern poll closing. We have more than just these 8. We have the battleground state of Maine, specifically Maine's 2nd District, which is battleground but not the rest of the state of New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, another battleground state, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, the District of Columbia, better known as Washington, D.C., Tennessee, Illinois, Mississippi, Alabama, Missouri, and Florida, also a battleground state, as well as the state of Oklahoma. And now for our first projection in this poll closing, Illinois' 19 electoral votes will go to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, her first big win of the night. We can also project the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. will give its 3 electoral votes to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the representative from New York. In Delaware's 3 electoral votes will also go to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, as well as the state of Maryland and its 10 electoral votes. We can also project the state of Massachusetts quite narrow. In fact, only 57% will go to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, as well as Maine at large. 2 out of its 4 electoral votes will go to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. In the Maine's 1st congressional district, 1 of its 4 electoral votes will go to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Just a clarification, Maine at large has 2 electoral votes, and both of them went to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Maine's 2nd district has only 1 electoral vote, and it will also go to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The remaining electoral vote is the Maine's 2nd district. In the state of Connecticut, 7 electoral votes, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the projected winner. As well as in the state of New Jersey, 14 electoral votes will go to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. In the state of Rhode Island, 3 electoral votes, it went down after the census, it will go to AOC. And for first projection of this call for Ron DeSantis, 7 electoral votes in Oklahoma for the governor. He will also carry the state of Alabama 8 electoral votes, as well as the state of Mississippi 6 electoral votes. He will also win the state of Missouri 10 electoral votes, as well as the state of Tennessee just south of Rand Paul, his running mate's home state. In the state of New Hampshire, it is too close to call. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez having a Ron DeSantis having a commanding lead of about 11 to 12 points. The polls do show Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez having a considerable advantage, but we're only having some polls in the more conservative parts of the state coming in. Again, they're having some voter irregularities in some of the bigger towns in the state. In the state of Pennsylvania, 19 electoral votes is too close to call. Ron DeSantis with a relatively small lead, about 3.5%. In Maine's 2nd district, and its 1 electoral vote is currently too close to call. Ron DeSantis 11 points up. As well as in the state of Florida, where Ron DeSantis has a 4-point lead, its 31 electoral votes is too close to call, and Ron DeSantis is hoping to win his home state because that will put him much closer to the 270 he needs to win. And now looking at the electoral map, Maine is colored purple because it is not completely going for one party, and unless it goes completely for one party, this will be out. If Nebraska does not go completely for one party, we will also see it for that state. Looking at the electoral map, Ron DeSantis is at 91 electoral votes, as well to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's 89. Key race alerts in North Carolina and Georgia are coming. Polls are now closing at 8:30 Eastern in the state of Arkansas, 6 electoral votes at stake. No surprise here, Ron DeSantis is the projected winner. This state went for President Trump both times and did not go for President Obama in his 2008 wait. The last time it went blue was in 1996. And now looking at the electoral map, we have key race alerts in North Carolina and Georgia coming. We have quite a bit of results coming in. 97 electoral votes for Ron DeSantis to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's 89. And now for 9 p.m. poll closings, 156 electoral votes at stake in the states of Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Minnesota, and Texas, all battleground states, as well as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's home state of New York, as well as Kansas, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, and Louisiana. We can project Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez will win the state of New Mexico's 5 electoral votes, as well as their home state of New York, it's 27 electoral votes. And she'll also carry the state of Minnesota's 9 electoral votes. She's the projected winner in the state of Colorado's 10 electoral votes, gaining 1 after the census. In the state of Kansas, Ron DeSantis is the projected winner. He will also win the state of North Dakota's 3 electoral votes, and the state of South Dakota's 3 electoral votes. He's also the projected winner in the state of Wyoming, and he will carry their 3 electoral votes. In the state of Nebraska, Ron DeSantis will win all 5 of their electoral votes. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was hoping to win the 2nd district, which went for Biden in 2020 and Barack Obama in 2008, but it was not to be. In the state of Louisiana, all 8 electoral votes will go to Ron DeSantis. In the state of Texas, a huge win for Ron DeSantis. All 41 electoral votes will go to him. But in a shocking numbers were coming out of the state of Texas. Ron DeSantis winning by 0.9 percentage points. So it's a huge leap for Democrats in the state. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez hoping to win the state. This would easily put her over 270, foregoing the need for any of the Rust Belt states and Arizona and Georgia and even Florida. But this was not to be again. But let's see. We can also say that the state of Arizona, apologies, we're having a systems error. Arizona is 12 electoral votes, not 19. The state of Arizona is too close to call. The state of Wisconsin, again, I think we have a glitch. 10 electoral votes is too close to call, as well as the state of Michigan, also too close to call. Looking at the electoral map, Ron DeSantis at 166 electoral votes to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's 141. Quite a few states have not had their poll closings yet, as well as the blue dump. California, Oregon, and Washington. And of course, Hawaii. We also have some key race alerts scheduled in the states of North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, New Hampshire, and Maine's 2nd district. In North Carolina, Ron DeSantis is their projected winner of their 16 electoral votes. They gained 1 after the census. Florida gaining 2 after the census. Ron DeSantis will win his home state. He's the incumbent governor, and he will win his home state. In Maine's 2nd congressional district, Ron DeSantis will win their 1 electoral vote. He's also the projected winner in the state of Georgia. He will win their 16 electoral votes. A big loss for Democrats who hope to continue President Biden's victory in the state, but it was not to be. However, on the Senate level, on the governor level in 2022, as well as the Senate level then, the Democrats did perform well, winning both the governor's house and the Senate. Now, he's also the projected winner in the state of New Hampshire, 4 electoral votes. This was a huge surprise for Democrats. They expected to carry New Hampshire after voting for Biden and Hillary in 2016 and 20 respectively. Now looking at the electoral map, Ron DeSantis has 234 electoral votes to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez 141. Again, we just had our key race alerts out of these states, and polls are now closing in Nevada, Iowa, Montana, and Utah. In the state of Nevada, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is the projected winner, a silver lining for her after losing all 5 of those battlegrounds. In the state of Montana, no surprise here, Ron DeSantis the projected winner. In the state of Utah, 6 electoral votes, Ron DeSantis will win this state. He will also win the state of Iowa, 6 electoral votes. Looking at the electoral map, Ron DeSantis at 250 electoral votes to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez 147. The Democrats seem to be having a bad night, but they will soon catch up after the blue wave, as we call it. California, Oregon, Washington, and Hawaii. Polls are now closing on the West Coast. It's 11 p.m. Eastern, and we have polls closing in California, Oregon, Washington, Hawaii, and Idaho. 82 electoral votes, California. 54 electoral votes will go to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's also the projected winner of the state of Oregon's 8 electoral votes and the state of Washington's 12 electoral votes, as well as the state of Hawaii's 4 electoral votes. In the state of Idaho, Ron DeSantis is the projected winner, a silver lining for him with the blue wave. And now looking at the electoral map, he's at 254 after winning Idaho, to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is 225. The polls are now closing in Alaska. It is now 12 p.m. Eastern, and Ron DeSantis the projected winner. Looking at the electoral map, Ron DeSantis just 13 away from the magic number to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is 225. In the state of Arizona, ladies and gentlemen, we can project Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez will win this state, giving her another 12 electoral votes. If you look at the map, she's now 237. We have a problem with the state of Alaska. The state of Alaska, we will not shade it until all mail-in ballots are counted, because they take a while to call, but we can project Ron DeSantis will win that state. AOC Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, 20 electoral votes behind Ron DeSantis. Now we can project Ron DeSantis will win the state of Wisconsin, and it's 10 electoral votes. Extremely bad news for Democrats. They need to win the remaining 2 states. And now we have a major projection to make. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez will be the next president. We can make this projection after she wins the state of Michigan as well as the state of Pennsylvania. Now looking at the electoral map, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez at 271 electoral votes to Ron DeSantis' 267. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is the first female and Hispanic president when she will be inaugurated on January 20th, 2025. A huge win for Democrats, narrowly clinching the White House. They're also the projected winners in the Senate, and they will take back the House after the Republican wave in 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and please hit that subscribe button. If you like it, you have any ideas for new videos, I would love to hear them. Just share them down in the comments. Thank you. Brought to you by Tane Politic.